Oh, I am on stage. I got to notice. It's so nice to be here in virtual Prego. My name is Hannah Howard. I'm the editor in chief at ParentCo, and I've had the pleasure of attending Prego in a few cities around the country, but never virtually until now. So I'm excited to meet you all. Um, okay, so oh no, there's people who are sad about the last person leaving. I'm sorry. You're with me now. I think we have contact information, right? So we can figure out those last precious moments. Hi. Okay, so we have 25 minutes together. So I'll tell you a little bit about ParentCo. I'll tell you a little bit about me and my parenting journey. And then ParentCo, I'll just start off by saying ParentCo is connecting a global village of parents. And we are here to share, we really lean into that co. We are here to share, create community, share content, conversation, connection. Parenting can be so lonely, and that cliche that it takes a village is very true in so many ways. And we're kind of here to create that village digitally. So let's start. I have a question for you. The other thing that happens, this happened to me when I was pregnant, is all of a sudden people feel entitled to give you all kinds of advice. And I know we're all here in different parts of our journey, but why don't we share some of the best advice about pregnancy, parenting, family that you have either given or received? We can save the worst advice for another time. Um, and as that comes in, I will share a little bit about me and my own parenting journey. So let's see, I have now a 3-year-old and a 5-year-old and a fluffy dog named Ace. So I met my lovely British husband in New York City. I was at the time a freelance food writer. Um, and I thought that we were going to be New York City people for good. We moved into a new apartment in Brooklyn. And then um, COVID happened. We had a 2020 baby. No advice. It's okay if you have postpartum blues. Sorry, I'm tracking here. Totally normal. But it's not. We also talk a lot about. We talk about all the parenting things at ParentCo, and mental health is a big one. So postpartum blues is totally normal, but if it feels like it's impacting you in a bigger way, it's absolutely worth seeking help. Um, Remembering not to overwork yourself. I needed to hear that reminder today. Every pregnant is different and unique, even if you've had others. That is incredibly true. I had three. So I'll chime back in for some of my experiences. Is that my pregnancy journey started off with pregnancy loss. And I know now that that's incredibly common. But at the time, I didn't really have any idea. I was kind of like low risk. Um, Generally healthy, and it was really one of the hardest things I've been through. So that was like a really abrupt start. So that was my first pregnancy. Worst advice: sleep when baby slept. I feel like well-meaning but impossible. um, Trust yourself. I'm still working on that one. Lean on your village. Yes, don't be afraid to ask for help. This is something that came very hard for me, but I've been practicing. So I started my second pregnancy and my first baby, who is now my 5-year-old Simone. She was born April 2020. So it was a crazy time in the world. I'm sure we all remember. And we ended up moving. We thought in New York City, there was a partner ban. You had to be alone. We were going to give birth at a hospital in Park Slope. You had to be alone there during this kind of crazy month. And that freaked me out. So we started calling doctors, midwives, anyone in New Jersey, a small town in New Jersey where my parents live, to see who was available to have my baby. And of course, nobody wanted to, because I was 37 weeks pregnant and there was a pandemic. But finally, my mom called her own doctor and begged her, and she said yes. And we drove out to this little town, and we were very like New Yorkers, no car. My dad picked us up. We had our masks on. We had some baby stuff that we thought we would need, and we went and had the baby. And 5 years later, we ended up moving out to New Jersey. I'm here around the corner from my parents. I have a 5 year old, a 3 year old, and it's just been this incredible journey. Pregnant with number six. Every baby and child is different. Oh my gosh, so true. It's okay that not all days will be good days. That is a huge one. Um, I wish I wish there was a way to save all these. These are gold. Um, Throwing all of baby bottles and pump parts in a bottle washer for sanity. Yes. Also, I there's a trick about you can keep those parts in the fridge, I think for 24 hours. That helped me a ton. Um, anyway, there's so much good advice. There's so much bad advice. I'm going to share my screen so I can show you ParentCo, parent.com. Um, let's see. Here we go. Working on it. Here we go. Okay. So you can find us over at parent.com, and we're here to kind of be that community to collect and curate the advice. Um, Advice, stories from the trenches, all kinds of experiences of parenthood. You can find us in different categories to kind of guide through these different stages of parenting life. Um, and then we have some amazing experts. These are our village experts, and we're growing this bunch of incredibly informed specialists across parenting disciplines all the time. So right now we have an amazing occupational therapist, Dr. Amy Ketchum. Allison John Dew is a potty training consultant. Sarah Bossio is a sleep expert, and Rochelle is a baby and childhood development expert. And so we have both, my dog is saying hi, both parents kind of just chiming in with their stories, everything from trying to get pregnant to life with lots of meltdowns in the toddler years. And then we also have more kind of how do you cope stories from these panel of experts and more. Um, so that's some about what we do. We are so lucky to be part of Kids 2, which is our family of brands, including Baby Einstein, Ingenuity, and Bright Starts. But we are kind of a separate media place. If you are a parent who likes to write, we're always looking for more parent voices. Um, and I would love to kind of get to meet you all and hear a little bit about your questions, stories, thoughts. Let's just share. Sorry about yeah, my there okay, so we might have a surprise guest because my kids are coming home from school. So um yes, this is amazing advice. Thank you. Yes. So mental health and therapist, we have a new partnership with the Motherhood Center, and we met the folks from the Motherhood Center at the last live prego that we attended in New York City earlier this year. And we've published a few stories for them about maternal mental health, and they are incredible. It's such a good resource. They're based in New York, but they also do virtual, and you can find, and it's just something that we really care about. I struggled with postpartum depression, and I thought I was like very prepared because I don't know, I'm in therapy, but it doesn't matter. It affects so many people and all kinds of people. So we really want to be a resource for that. Um, Yes. Oh my gosh, thank you. Someone shared about a stillbirth. Yes. I mean, it's pregnancy is such an interesting experience, right? Because it's like brings us so much vulnerability. Like it's the most beautiful thing, but it's the most vulnerable thing. Um, thank you for sharing. Um, Thank you. Someone's talking about a son passing away. These are stories that we really care about and want to tell and share. So thank you for sharing here. Thank you. It's really it's really vulnerable and brave and hard sometimes to share these things. And I think it could be so lonely when I'm sorry, my opening door. I felt really alone when I had my pregnancy loss, and something that helped me so much was just I was like logging on, listening to Beyonce talk about her pregnancy loss, and just people would recommend. It's like, okay, like if Beyonce went through this, it didn't, it doesn't take it away, but I do think that community can be one of the most powerful things to help us heal and move on. Um, Wow, thank you all for sharing about like difficult roads to pregnancy, losses, tests, treatments. Yes, I mean, I think these stories. One of the things I also do, I'm a writer. I have a book out called Plenty, a memoir of food and family for the food lovers among us. And what was my? Oh, I also teach writing, and I'm working with an amazing writer who's working on a memoir about her struggles with um, infertility and to become pregnant. And it's like so many people go through it, and it's still something that is hard to talk about, a little bit taboo. So I think it just is amazing that we get to talk about it. Um, Fifth baby. Yes, that is incredible advice. Nobody knows your kid like you do. Yes, I think I'm learning that. I think as a first time mom, I was like, what is me? What is the baby? What is this particular baby? What is all babies? And then definitely with the second, I had a little bit more confidence in trusting myself, but it's still something I'm learning. And yes, postpartum depression. Yes. My book is available on Amazon. If you look up Plenty by Hannah Howard, you will find it. But yes, thank you. Um, Oh, thank you for sharing it. Okay, what else? Any questions we can answer? Anything about ParentCo? Any resources we can share? Pregnant with first baby at 39. Do you want to say hi? My baby is getting ready for her swim lessons. You want to say hi? This is Simone. She has her swim ready to swim. We were talking about you. Um, yes. Wow. Your oldest is 20 and you're pregnant with 14 weeks pregnant and 42. Amazing. That's so cool. Um, yes, I wish more organizations too offered pregnancy loss resources, community. It's so important. Um, all right, someone go swim. Some lessons isn't. I know, but I need the time, sweetie. Thank you. Um, thank you. Yeah. So it's crazy, right? She's going to start kindergarten in fall, and the next chapter of so we're here in New Jersey just for a few more days, really, and then our family is moving to Chicago. So we're doing a lot of change and transition, and it's exciting. We do organize events, but we're kind of like a startup within a bigger company. We're headquartered in Atlanta, and we have had some get-togethers for local parent entrepreneurs, parent creators, and we are really open to having more. We love that. We have video conversations and communities that we share, so that can be something that we do more of. Um, I'm sorry, there's some maybe crying going on. Um, what is the link to the website? I think we shared that. Yay! I love fellow Chicago parents. I'm really excited. I probably spent only a week there in my life, but my parents met there and lived there for their whole 20s. So I grew up hearing about how amazing Chicago was. So I can't wait. Thank you all. We still have 10 minutes. What should we talk? Should we talk about? Introducing toddler to baby. And maybe we have our amazing social media and other guru Dominique here. So maybe you could share. We have a story that I wrote about introducing the toddler to baby. Um, yeah, that's a really good one. I can say a little bit about that too, because with your first, you have, as hard and overwhelming as it is, because it is, you do have this benefit of peace and time to just cuddle with your newborn and no one's going to bother you. And then all of a sudden, that was my biggest, like, whoa, now I had two under two. I had, my baby is about 19 months apart. So all of a sudden I was trying to make a cozy breastfeeding nook, but there was another child climbing all over me, which is just a totally different experience. So I feel like my biggest advice is just to, like, be kind to yourself and trust that your best is good enough. It's never gonna feel, I think that's, like, a part of parenthood that I'm understanding too. It's like it never feels like enough because there's only one of you, and those of you who have, like, 3 kids, 4 kids, 6 kids we saw in the chat, like, there's only one mom, and I think this is also where, like, the more hands to help, so just to carve out some special time that you can have with your toddler, so they still get some, that feel, that mommy connection, even if your time and energy levels are limited. I think every bit counts, and, like, quality over quantity. And just that kind of grace with yourself, that not doing it perfectly is okay, you're human, and that's good enough, and you're the best mom your kid could get, or dad. So there's dads here, and um, okay, thank you, yeah, for that article on new kids, 3 years apart. Yes, every child is a different experience. I learned that too, just like I had completely different pregnancy experiences, different birth experiences, different, um something else that we love to write about and share about is just, like, it's such a huge part of your life, right? Navigating, it's always going to be it's always going to be this pivotal experience. So my first birth, like, I really hoped for a vaginal birth, and I ended up having an emergency C-section, and it was really scary, and it was really, like, not what I planned in so many ways. And then the second time I thought, oh, now is going to be my time to have a vaginal birth, but they were too close together. So it was too high risk to do that. But actually, so I was, at first, I was so devastated because it's like, again, I don't get my birth that I have dreamed up. But actually, it ended up being a really beautiful experience and totally different. And I also had these, a team of amazing two doulas. We write too. We love doulas. Highly encourage them if they're part of your story or possibility for you. I know I didn't get to work with them because it was COVID, but then they kind of coached me through preparing for this second experience, second birth, and coached me through the C-section. And we kind of went through, like, what are the things I can control and what are the things I can't control? What kind of requests can I make? What can I do? What can I expect? And I just went into it feeling so much, so, like, taken care of and so much more informed. And it ended up being an amazing experience, even though it wasn't what I had originally intended. So I think we all know who are already, I think even if we're pregnant and this is our first, like, even just getting to that point, you've kind of had to come into reality that the best laid plans, like, who knows, It's really great to have them and make them, but anything can happen. Yes, a lot of love for doulas. Doulas are the best. Um, yeah, I think doulas are incredible, and there's a lot of really good, statistics that they just, people leave after a birth with a doula feeling more positive about the whole experience. Good. I know I had a C-section, but lower C-section rates. It's really a beautiful thing to have. But I think it's very personal. It's kind of like finding, like, a therapist, or it's kind of like finding a partner. Like, you have to mesh with them because it's such a personal, vulnerable life experience that you're inviting them into. Um, yeah, I have had C-sections for both, and I that was not what I planned for, but I did, and it all went really well. And I think I was really scared. I'm listening now, pl this is, like, unrelated to ParentCo, but, I don't know if it's too graphic for those of us in the thick of this, but I'm listening to season 2 of the Retrievals about C-section pain, and, I was really scared of pain and surgery, and actually, it went for me, I had a really good experience. The recovery was, like, not so bad. I was going for walks within a few days, and, I know people have all kinds of experiences and all kinds of birth stories, but, um, yeah. What else can we I love thank you all for, like, chiming in, for sharing. Um, I love baby number 6 and first time having a doula. That's so cool, like, there's always room for firsts and new experiences. Um, Hi, mom from Connecticut, first kid, congratulations. Um, the C-section was so much better the second time. Um, Physically, it was a little it wasn't like it wasn't like the most comfy experience in the world. I've heard this like, I felt a lot of pressure in my body, but, like, emotionally, it was very joyful. Something about it being planned felt very calm. Simone and my dog went to stay with my parents. My mom was like, "What would you like me to cook for dinner the night before?" I had delicious lasagna that she made. Um and then we kind of were chatting and, like, laughing with the nurses and the anesthesiologist, and for us, the gender was a surprise, so everyone was taking bets, um, and it was just like a good happy mood, and, even though I was really scared, I remember I had on my robe and I was waiting to do the first, the epidural where they deliver the pain meds, and just broke out in, like, a crazy sweat, and the anesthesiologist was like, "Well, I haven't done anything, so that's you." So, I was scared, but who wouldn't be scared? It's surgery, it's a baby, it's such a huge thing, but it was really positive, and I recovered pretty quickly, and I was only in the hospital for, like, 48 hours, and, it was really nice, and it was also the first time, like, it was such uncertainty and weirdness and fear in those early COVID days. They kept checking my husband's temperature, and they said if it went up, like, he had to go, and this time it was still, like, that era of the world, but it was much more like, we knew he could come and be there. That was a huge relief. Things felt a little less scary in general, so that mattered too. Um does having a doula help with getting doctors and nurses to respect your wishes? I think that that's a huge thing they can do is advocate for you, absolutely. It's really hard to advocate for yourself when you're in the middle of so much it's such a, like, physically, emotionally, mentally, spiritually intense experience, right, giving birth, and, yes, so the doula can help kind of be, they're a non-medical professional, right? So they're not a midwife, they're not a doctor, they're not a nurse, but they're there kind of to advocate for you and to make sure that you are being that your wants are being met to the best of their ability. So that's exactly what they can do. Um, yes. Twins, amazing. How did I pick a date? Okay, so I actually loved the OB who did my first emergency C-section. She was I was scared. It was kind of it was an emergency, but she was this wonderful, calm presence. And she ended up being my doctor since I stayed in New Jersey. And so I just worked around her schedule. I was like, when are you available? I wanted her to do it again. Um, oh, Jessica says they kicked out my husband and I was alone. I'm sorry. I know it's really like it is like I have said the word vulnerable a lot, but it's a very incredibly vulnerable time and um I am sorry. Um I love a birth plan. Yes. Yes, and having a partner there is great too. And if you don't have if a doula is not available too, like, yes, I think talking through your plan with your partner is amazing. If you have a kind of relationship with a mom or a friend that you like trust to be there with you, great. Like that's helpful too. It's good to have support. And I know we're different and some people value privacy understandably over that, but it's really like I think anything you can do to like help take care of yourself and create that environment is incredible. Yes, we have other COVID births. It was weird. Yeah, I mean, my first time, we I had to wear a mask and I was throwing up. It was miserable. So I feel you, fellow COVID moms. It was really hard. And that was one of the hard I heard I didn't get to see my son born. Yes. That was one of the hard when I went through it with my also, if you can share your birth story with someone you trust, it's so healing. And I did go through it afterwards with the doulas, even though they weren't there. And that was one of the biggest disappointments with the emergency C-section is, yeah, they whisked off Simone and I didn't get to see her for what felt like a long time. That was so hard. So that was one of the things that I was like, how can we change that? And we did. I got to see Julius, my son, right away. Um, Thank you so much. I thank you, Dominique, for dropping in all these great links. I think that's the end of our time. If you ever want to reach out to me, I'm Hannah, Hannah at parent.com. I'm sorry, Hannah Howard. Dominique, maybe you could drop my email too in the chat. And because I butchered it here. And please check us out. Our Instagram is ParentCo Parents. Our website is parent.com. And I'm just wishing everybody love, luck, joy, strength, solidarity on this incredible journey. Thank you.